What's up, mountain bikers? Coach Adam here. I'm here to wish you Happy New Year. What the heck am I talking about? Well, I firmly believe that November 1st is New Year's Day for athletes and mountain bikers. It's time to get going. So, if you've made good use of October and you've got some money in the bank, so to speak, that's awesome. But if you're just getting off the couch, it is time to get moving. BC Bike Race is in May this year, and that's not long from November. So, it's time to get rolling. Why? Well, it takes the body, about 8 weeks of general preparation through November and December to start prepping for what's happening come January, February, and as we move into the spring. We've shifted gears now from those long, warm autumn days with hero dirt, and now we're seeing snow up at elevation. We've already had some significant snowfalls up in the mountains here in BC, and the rain is hitting down low here in the valleys. But everywhere in the northern hemisphere, daylight is becoming more scarce, and the shorter days mean that a lot of times for many of us, we're moving indoors to do a bigger portion of our training. It can be tempting to put the bike away right now, but you've got big goals for next year, so let's make the most of this month ahead. We're moving into the foundation phase, and now some coaches would call this general prep. I don't think that's a really great name. Some people call it off season. I don't think off season is a great name either. I think it sounds like you're taking a vacation. So with the foundation phase, we are laying the groundwork for what's to come. If October was productive and you've accumulated a good foundation of aerobic work, you should be feeling pretty fit, and maybe you've introduced and adapted to some resistance training as well over the past several weeks. This month, if you're still racing cyclocross, you might be smack in the middle of that part of the season, doing some sprint work, short punchy efforts, maybe a little VO2 max work. But racing on the weekends a lot. Like, if you're doing that, still try and ride your mountain bike here and there a couple times a week to maintain your mountain bike specific skills. But for those of us who aren't racing cross, we primarily fall into two camps. Those who can ride their bike or are brave enough to ride their bike outside in the winter, or those who can't or don't want to. So if you ride through winter, if you live somewhere where you're lucky enough, but you can continue riding, you fall into the first camp. We're going to keep things rolling with 3 to 4 rides a week, even if some of those are indoors, but really use what good weather you have to focus on skill development, aerobic intensity, and some endurance work. A lot of this work can be unstructured right now as we shift to more structure and more frequency in the gym, doing resistance training or strength work. Now, as your overall training volume might decrease, the proportion of gym time and other cross training is going to increase. But what if you don't ride outside? What if you're somewhere where the weather's so bad, or you've got no daylight, or your schedule just doesn't permit outside training? If the weather gets bad, most of us are going to opt to go inside until there's enough snow that we can go skiing. It might just make more sense. So we can do an indoor cycling class, do CrossFit, maybe trainer workouts, run, or hike. But once the snow flies, we can get out there skiing, snowshoeing, and that can be a great option too. Whatever you do, be sure that when introducing new activities that even though your motor might be firing or your cardiovascular fitness is good, it might mean that you've got the power to do some great workouts, but your transmission might need some work. In other words, your muscular system might not be adapted to whatever load is coming at it. So start slow, and increase the frequency and duration of these alternate activities gradually, especially if that involves running down hills or hiking, carrying a pack. That heavier mechanical load is going to have a big impact on your body. So start slow, progress gradually. We're also going to see a little bit of an increase, or maybe even a significant increase, in the amount of strength training we're doing this time of year. Now, I talked about this a lot in last month's video and blog, but I'm going to go over some of these points again, just in case you missed it. Now, as bike racers, most of us, or many of us at least, would prefer to just ride all the time. But strength work is important for injury prevention, mobility, stability, core strength, managing forces on the bike, keeping efficiency, and ultimately pedaling power too. Particularly for masters athletes, we face the reality of muscle loss or sarcopenia as we age. Females also have a higher risk of osteoporosis, and strength training, resistance training can help to prevent or offset both of those. Now, if you're just beginning your strength and resistance routine, start slowly with a few sessions or even a few weeks that are really focused on quality movement and adaptation. When you begin to add load or add weight, focus on proper technique with very manageable loads. Those basic movements like squat, hinge, lunge, push, pull, and rotate should form the core of your routine. Remember, we're not power lifters. We're bike riders who want to improve our riding. So this means don't crush yourself in the gym and have it have a negative impact on your aerobic training. For many people that you'll see in the gym, this is their training, right? That's their workout. So for us, it's preparing us for our training. So it's a different goal, different focus. Now, what could your training week look like? Now, there's lots of different ways to bake a cake here, but the actual structure of your week will probably be dependent on your work schedule, family schedule, or free time. Ideally, you want to incorporate these components. 2 intensity workouts. Now, these don't mean going like crazy, cross-eyed, insane intensity, but you could include 1 harder VO2 max workout, 1 medium workout that's got some threshold riding or some tempo work, 2 endurance sessions, maybe 1 again that could incorporate some tempo work. These don't need to be all day mega rides that really empty the tank, but more so rides that just increase your ability to oxidize fat as fuel and build efficiency, build aerobic capacity, and just putting in hours on the bike. In addition to that, you're going to want to do 2 strength workouts. I recommend 2 minimum. So here's an outline you can follow. Okay, Monday, rest day. I love Monday as a rest day because Sunday is usually a big opportunity to get out there on the bike and do our biggest ride of the week. So take a rest Monday. Or if you really want to train, do some mobility work or very, very light aerobic work. Ride to the coffee shop, something like that. Tuesday, you're freshest on Tuesday, so do your intensity there. You want to work in descending order of intensity throughout the week. So we can do a mountain bike ride with some intensity, indoor trainer ride. Again, that could look like VO2 max or threshold work. We're going to follow that Wednesday with some resistance training, strength work. You could do a little aerobic ride or maybe hike, something like that as well, light run. Thursday, we're going to try and incorporate more aerobic work, tempo or trail ride, trainer session, maybe some cross training if the weather's bad. Friday, back in the gym, some resistance work, strength training. Saturday rolls around, it's the weekend. So for many people, this means they've got a little bit more time flexibility. You can go on a longer mountain bike ride if the trails in your area still allow you to do that. Or we can do an indoor trainer session or do a little mix of like, maybe we do a bit on the trainer, go outside for a hike. Sunday, this is our opportunity to do a longer endurance ride this week. If you can still ride in your area, get it on the road or gravel bike. You can do a trail run, a longer hike, or a longer but easier mountain bike ride. Again, the big goal here is to build some endurance through volume in terms of hours. The real key overall is to build consistency through this month and into December, building that solid foundation for what is to come. Now, if you found value here and you want a little bit more of this kind of content, my Club Shred program can be a great option for you. With weekly group calls, a content bank of videos just like this one, a group discussion forum, and more. It's a great place for any mountain biker to increase their knowledge and performance. Check out thecyclingco.com/clubshred. Thanks so much for watching. Happy training. I'm Coach Adam. See you next month.